Why is Europe the fastest warming continent? That's the question the New York Times is asking this week, and the answer involves some science that should give all of us pause. Western Europe is in the middle of its second record-shattering heat wave in a single month. And as alarming as that is on its own, it fits into a much larger pattern. For the past 3 decades, Europe has been warming faster than any other continent on Earth. We're talking about average temperatures climbing roughly 1 degree Fahrenheit, about half a degree Celsius every single decade since the mid-1990s. That's more than double the rate of warming for the rest of the world, according to Copernicus, the European Union's climate monitoring service. Now, the burning of fossil fuels is the big driver here. Carbon dioxide and other heat-trapping gases are pushing temperatures up globally. But why is Europe getting hit so much harder than everywhere else? It comes down to a handful of local factors that are stacking on top of each other in a particularly bad way. First, there's the Arctic. As the atmosphere warms, sea ice that used to blanket huge stretches of the Arctic Ocean is melting away. That exposes the dark ocean surface underneath, which absorbs far more of the sun's energy than ice does, and that accelerates warming across the entire northern region. Then there's Europe's air quality improvements. Stricter pollution controls have been great for public health. Fewer particles in the air means cleaner lungs. But those same particles, called aerosols, used to actually help by bouncing solar radiation back into space. Remove the pollution, and you remove that unintentional shield. There's also less snow on the ground. Last year, snow cover in Europe peaked at about a third below average. Snow reflects sunlight. Bare soil absorbs it. So less snow means more heat being soaked up, especially across Scandinavia and the European part of Russia. All of these changes are doing something to the way air moves over the continent, and this is where things get really concerning. There's a belt of strong winds high in the atmosphere called the jet stream, and it normally keeps cool air flowing into Europe from the Atlantic. But with less snow and ice altering the temperature difference between the equator and the North Pole, that jet stream is behaving differently. Scientists have found it's been splitting more often into 2 branches over Europe, and when that happens, you get a pocket of weak winds in between. Heat gets trapped. What might have been a few uncomfortable days turns into a weeks-long heat wave with deadly consequences. In the 2003 heat wave that killed as many as 70,000 people across Europe, that split jet stream pattern held on for 29 days. A 2022 study found that nearly all of the recent increase in the frequency and intensity of Western European heat waves was tied to these so-called double jet patterns sticking around longer. Whether climate change is making those patterns more common is still something scientists are working to understand. What they do know is that this week's heat is already rewriting the record books, not by small margins, but by big jumps. Climate scientist Lizzie Kendon at the University of Bristol put it plainly: rising temperatures and broken records are expected. What's been extraordinary, she said, is how far beyond the old records these new temperatures are reaching. And as of this reporting, several more days of extreme heat were still ahead. The science is clear: Europe is a continent that's warming fast, and the combination of melting ice, cleaner air, bare ground, and a disrupted jet stream means that's not going to slow down on its own. That's the story from the New York Times. Stay cool out there, and we'll see you next time.